Hello, everybody. My name is Boss Rudin, a.k.a. El Guapo, and it's me speaking to you with your host, Jeffrey Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of It's Me Speaking to You. I am, as always, your ever-faithful host, Mr. Jeffrey Wilson, coming to you from the gateway to the West. And today, a brother in vocals right here. If you ever listen to the other podcast that I happen to co-host with UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich, you will hear this man's divine stylings as he is the voice in the intro, does the intro for our program, and he is also the voice for AXSTV, Mark Cuban's network, AXSTV Fights. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program, the voice of AXSTV Fights, Mr. Mike Kendall. What's up, brother?
Not a whole lot, Jeff, man. How you doing, man?
I am fantastic, brother. Every day above ground's a good day, and I know I apologize, man, unreservedly. I've tried to lock you in a couple times. Today we were trying to get down a little earlier, but like I said, the Hall of Famer and I had a show that kind of went off the chains a little bit as far as technical, timing-wise and all that good stuff, but we are here to chat with you, my man.
It's my pleasure, man. It's worth the wait, my friend.
Well, I appreciate it.
always good to chop it up with you, Jeff.
Yeah, man. I appreciate so much you taking the time, however that was many months ago when you recorded that the intro for us, man. That was just really short and sweet, and we wanted to put a little sign behind it, and it sounds awesome, my man. So before we get
how'd that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, just saying, before I mean, what, you obviously do the vocals for the AXSTV, and I know you kind of wanting to get into the whole voiceover thing, and, what started you into, were you like a mixed martial arts fan? Were you, like an artist as far as like voiceover acting? Which came first, the chicken or the egg there?
Well, I would say definitely the egg. I definitely wanted to do something with the voice, knowing that, like, early on, ring announcing was actually a childhood dream of mine that I had, and then it kind of was just like, okay, well, this is foolish and this will never happen, and wanted to do some radio work, and that didn't pan out out of high school. I was kind of felt like I was being pushed away from it with people telling me that there's no money in it and all that. So I kind of went by the way, and I mean, I sang all my life. I like doing stuff like that. Thought about doing a band gig for a while. But then about 10 years ago, I met a guy, Phil Henderson, the dude, my whole start in the career, found me a promoter that wanted a ring announcer. I wanted to kind of try to see how that would go. And it's a long story from that point, it's something that built and snowballed into something that now I'm doing full time, and it's definitely a dream come true, my friend.
So you were doing more local promotions, et cetera. I mean, local, obviously, promotional fights before you kind of got the big call.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely started here in Omaha, Nebraska. Midwest Championship Fighting, I believe, or Midwest Cage Sports. I can't even remember the name of the event. I did the one. But Marty Anderson's show, he gave me a shot, and yeah, it was just like local grassroots type, entry level mixed martial artist kids, just coming off the street or with very little training at all, and some guys, some veterans that have been around for a few years, but yeah, just a real local card, and I mean, there's a lot of MMA talent around here, so
yeah,
they've been able to keep me pretty busy.
What, as far as influences, like, I don't know if you grew up as a boxing fan, the Jimmy Lennon Juniors, the Michael, or the other buffer, you got the two buffers. Like, what are some of your influences?
Gosh, yeah, I would pay money to find out where like Bruce and Michael Buffer's stuff came from, but
Bruce Buffer, that's it. I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Bruce and Mike, yeah, both,
yeah.
I mean, both those guys.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I want to hear how they would answer this question. But for me, man, I mean, it started off watching like the Rocky movies, dude, back in the day. Where,
yeah.
Those announcers and stuff like that. I mean, like just real quick, like spots. Like, oh man, dude, that'd be sweet just to have that job.
Yeah, yeah.
And but it's a mixed bag, dude. I mean, I love something from every announcer that I've ever heard.
Right.
Like I took that one thing that I like of theirs, and I just kind of all mashed it all up.
There you go.
The cadence of Jimmy Lennon Jr. Kind of like, and I love Joe Martinez and Michael Williams. Both those guys are really, really good. Of course, Bruce and Michael. Michael being the one dude that he's probably the most influential dude right there.
Right.
I mean, he made being a ring announcer like a star thing, you know.
I saw Michael Buffer walking around. He had the Bruce Buffer had the it's kind of like an ascot around his neck, you know, drinking like the hot tea, you know, keeping his vocal area. Like, man, he's taking out that's serious business, man. See him in there, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow. I mean, that's kind of like the vocal kind of exercise you got to do. But I find that I mean, because it's big business, obviously. You know, Michael Buffer, the elder Buffer, he trademarked that, like the whole "Let's get ready to rumble." I mean, it's no joke. Clearly, he can make a living off it.
Yeah, for sure. On Jock Jam, I mean, he marketed it to so many different, you know, areas of marketing. And
well, and it's one of those things like cool. It's like you said, you know, some of these guys start making being an announcer cool, and it's one of those. I mean, they really kind of set the tone. I mean, odds are if you're there to see the fight, you're already amped up. But those guys, like as they announce, you know what I mean, and fighting, like they just make you go through the freaking roof the way they announce. I mean, you guys can really dictate the kind of the energy. You know what I mean?
No doubt. It's and I tell you what, man, I've done some shows where, you know, the crowds are kind of, you know, just, you know,
yeah,
you know, five of each person are here to see one person, so that, you know, that they're just here for the local kid, you know, or whatnot. But I've done some events like at the Sanford Pentagon Arena in Sioux Falls, dude, where the crowd is just in it like 100% from the get
right
to the end of the show. I mean, the energy level that they bring there is like so extreme, and that just, I feed off of that, and so as amped as the crowd gets, I get even more amped, and it builds, and it's just like when the crowd responds to you in that manner live,
yeah,
you're right there in the middle of it, dude, and it's like, I mean, it truly is, you know, one of the reasons why I do what I do. It's just that's the biggest adrenaline rush ever.
It's the juice, baby. It's the juice. I mean,
it is the juice for sure.
It's so true. I mean, I remember reading, you know, I don't know, No One Here Gets Out Alive, the Jim Morrison book, and he used to study on how to like create riots. You know, the control that you have. I mean, obviously you do it responsibly, but it's just like I said, you guys really kind of have them in the palm of your hand for a hot minute there. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. It's for sure like the opening. You know, you set the tone for the show. You know, and I mean, I want to be as good as the talent that we have on our shows. You know, if not better. So, you know, I got to bring my A game, and it's a strive. Strive forward every time.
What was that like, man? I mean, obviously you worked your way up, which is, you know, you paid your dues. But I mean, to jump to, you know, Mark Cuban AXSTV level, I mean, that had to have been like WTF. I mean, obviously you knew you paid your dues, but what was that like, man, getting that call?
Tell you what, so RFA, everyone knows of the RFA, everyone that, you know, knows about mixed martial arts, they know that organization and how it started, their grassroots movement in Kearney, Nebraska, out west from where I live here. They did a show, and they brought the names, man. They brought Jens Pulver, fought Tim Elliott. I mean, there's a host of other guys. I mean, Frank Shamrock was there. He didn't compete, but he was there. I mean, just a lot of like just huge names from the sport. And I was like, why am I not doing this show? I was like, why can't I? You know, and so I was in contact with them like immediately before and after the show, just saying, hey, you know, if you want the best announcer in Nebraska, and I mean, I feel like I can comfortably say that. I've seen everyone that announces out here, and it's just, if you guys want that dude, let me know. Give me a call. Let's work something out. Let's do something. And Scott Cuthbert got back to me and gave me my shot with RFA 2, where Gilbert Ivel fought Houston Alexander in the main event. That was just crazy. But that's where it started. And
what year is that? What year is that? I like to place context with years. What year are we talking?
I knew you'd ask me the details. I want to say 12.
2000. Okay.
March 2012. I want to say something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But RFA 2. Yeah. I mean, I'm really fuzzy with numbers.
No, that's all right.
But because there's been so many shows, but so then, you know, that gets going, and it's we do like, I think 3 or 4 shows, and then I hear that we're going to Las Vegas and be on TV and doing this like AXSTV, formerly HDNet, and I mean, I can't tell you how that experience. I mean, when they tell you that you're just going to go from doing,
right,
you know, small town shows to you're gonna be going to major market cities and doing stuff on television. I was like blown away. I couldn't even describe in words what it felt like. It was amazing.
So, I mean, of course, I'm not going to get into your financial business, but has it changed your life at all? Because, I mean, that is totally next level. I mean, obviously, regional promotions, obviously there's obviously some, attention that comes with that, but, you're talking AXSTV, that's global. I mean, has it changed your life at all? Or, you know what I mean? How you look at the game and your job?
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, absolutely. My situation is good. I mean, I've always, been able to eat, been able to live. I do with what I got.
Yeah.
It's in an announcing fights. I mean, when it starts out, you're doing one like every 4 or 5 months. A couple every 2-3 months. But now, when I'm doing one almost every weekend,
right?
Of course, and I've got 10 years experience and. So yeah, my pay is definitely able to help me live, the way I'm living right now, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, and I really wasn't. Like I said, I wasn't trying to get into like how much do they pay you. It was just more like, you know what I mean. Like you said, going from it's kind of the attention wise, and it's not to say I've met a lot of people who like I want to be famous, et cetera, and then when they even kind of get a taste of it, and I've met a few famous people in my day. It's never what it appears. You know what I mean? Like you think you wanted that for so long and. You get there like, wow, this is not exactly what I wanted. That's kind of, is it, are you still down to get up on the plane? Obviously, you got a nice gig, but, you're still enjoying what you do, I guess is my point.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I haven't done 300-400, shows, traveled all over across the world like Bruce has, So if I have anything to complain right now, then I'm pretty stupid. But I mean, it's awesome. I tell you what, like, I like living in a suitcase and living in hotels, and for half the time. I mean, that's great. Like the life experiences that I get to have when I'm in these larger market cities, any city in general, people I get to meet through the sport, and I mean that's awesome. There's a million people that would pay to,
Yeah, without a doubt.
To get to do that. I can't complain. It's definitely different, traveling every week,
like you said, I'm a big professional wrestling fan, and that kind of seems like that's the grind, man, the road, being on the road. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? A lot of those guys who've been around for 30, 40 years or whatever, like hearing their stories, the invaluable stories you have on the road is just like, it's amazing. And, not only are you, working and announcing for such a huge network, you're working with a UFC Hall of Famer, Pat Miletich, and Michael Schiavello. That guy's announced everywhere and announces everything and is just a huge brain, man. I had him on Pat and I show. I mean, that guy, holy crap, man. He's just like an Encyclopedia Britannica himself. What's that like working with those two guys?
Oh, my gosh, man. It's been, the best experience. I mean, I'm sure, you're close to Pat, so, like, some of the stories I've heard from the, from days back, to the, early UFCs and traveling with, like, all his all those guys that he brought up into world champions, those stories right there, those are insane. Those are huge. So all that and all that knowledge that Pat has in the sport and stuff like that makes it, just that much more enjoyable to, be a part of the sport from guys who are pioneers in it,
Yeah, I mean, not only just
Schiavello. Yeah. I couldn't. I'm fortunate enough to get to listen to the program in my ear while we're doing the fights live. So, and it's the best experience ever. You're sitting there listening to the breakdown from Schiavello and Miletich.
I love it. I mean,
it's so entertaining. I love how funny they make it sometimes. I mean,
well, that chemistry between those two, I mean, it's so, it's one of those, it's hard to create that. Like either it works or it doesn't. And those two, it just works.
For sure.
So as far as
they're awesome dudes.
Jeez, man. I can only imagine. Like most of the times Pat has some stories. Yeah, let's just say that. Your thoughts on, obviously you're a fan of the sport from even before Pat's days, UFC 1, going back to Pancrase. I had Boss Root not too long ago. Just this talking and seeing the evolution of the sport. Where do you see it going, man? It's like, it's changed so much. Obviously we have such huge. Now the Reebok deal and the new ownership, at least of the UFC, and then you have, you know, people jumping shit from the UFC, Ryan Bader, Roy McDonald going to Bellator. What are your thoughts on the sport today?
Well, I mean, see all that mix up. I mean, that's great. I mean, the people that don't want to be on board with the UFC, you know, it's their right to go wherever they want. I mean,
they have an option.
I respect. Yeah, I respect that, and the fact that they do have an option and they can make a choice to do something different, you know, and that suits better interest in their life, then, you know, shoot, all the power to them. You know, and you know, I'm not pro or against, you know, UFC or Bellator. We feed both of those organizations, so
sure.
I mean, they're all partnering. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, we're all partners in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would love to see, you know, just leagues form. You know, if it's going to be professional sport, let's do it like football. Let's do it like baseball. You know, is doing that going to dilute it too much to where people aren't going to watch? You know, that's a possibility. I don't know. But
what is that similar to what they?
See it.
Is that similar to what they tried in the IFL?
I believe so, and I'm not real knowledgeable about the IFL. I mean, I caught a few of their fights here and there, you know, in the past, but I mean,
well, I mean, you had like Pat Squad.
It would seem like it.
Yeah.
But whatever the UFC does is, you know, going to be, I believe, is going to be, you know, what needs to be done. It needs to be done at that level,
right?
As opposed to like a promotion coming in, you know, and just trying it from scratch without any reputation or.
Oh yeah,
you know,
no, absolutely.
Standing in the sport.
No, yeah, I mean, anymore. I mean, you're pissing in the wind. You're trying to, you know, compete with. I mean, even Bellator has the work cut out for them. But yeah, to be the next either one of those two is a, you know, that's a lawfully task. But so yeah, man. I mean, so what's going on with Mike Kendall in the future? I mean, we've talked kind of off air about you wanting to maybe jump into some voiceover work. Have you kind of pursued any of that? I know you. I mean, like I said, you obviously do what you do. You stay busy with the ring announcing, but have you given thought or any more thought to jumping into the commercial voiceover market?
No.
That's right.
You know, I've kind of set it on the back burner just because of this transition where, you know, we're going from doing. Hold on a second. This dog's got the squeaky toy and it's driving me nuts. Got it.
Oh, good.
But yeah. So I kind of put it on the back burner with the transition. Doing more than half or more than double the shows that on TV that I'm used to doing. So it's like I want to make sure that I'm able to give this my full attention in this point in juncture, you know. So,
yeah, no, that's true.
So who knows what the future might bring, you know?
Yeah,
I'd love to do some voice stuff.
Well, you're certainly carving out a nice niche for yourself, man. Like I said, you know, 10 years, you know, leading up to getting the gig you got now. I mean, obviously, and you guys, I don't know if that included you, but I know AXSTV Fights kind of just renewed their contract and all that good stuff. So, I mean, at least you got a little job security for a little while.
Yeah, I feel good. I've always felt, you know, like I am where I'm supposed to be. You know, people always ask me, you know, do you think you ever, you know, announce in the UFC? I'm like, I don't even care. At this point, like, yeah. I'm on the top of my dream right now, and so it's like I don't feel like I need to want more.
No, well, I mean,
I'm so comfortable with where I'm at.
That's a great lane to, like, you know, I mean, it's not, for me, I try to tell people, man, create your own lane. You're not trying to be, or I would suggest, don't try to be the next Bruce Buffer or Mike Buffer or whatever.
Oh, no.
Be the first Mike Kendall, you know what I mean? It's like, take all the things that you like from them and, like, create your own flavor, your own swagger, whatever you want to call it. And that's the way to be, dude, instead of trying to just follow right in somebody's footsteps. You know, you can kind of create your own lane, which is what you're doing.
For sure.
So what's next, man? You guys are in what, South Carolina this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be tomorrow. Heading out to South Carolina for the first time for their first ever nationally televised MMA event in their state's history, which is, I mean, it blows my mind a little bit, but it's crazy that we get to do that. I think we did that for Sioux Falls or for South Dakota as well. Pretty awesome.
That's historic, man. And you guys don't just do straight MMA too. You guys, don't you announce like Muay Thai? I mean, it's like you guys cover all kinds of stuff, don't you?
Well, the LFA, no. AXSTV has different promotions on their stuff too. So I mean, I'm the voice of the LFA. By no means the total voice of AXSTV,
right?
Because they got the dudes that did like Lion Fights and
okay,
CES and. So yeah, there's different dudes that do all those. I'm not the sole dude for Access, just for LFA, but we've got most of the dates, for that segment. So yeah, so I'm on there all the time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's so funny. Like I forget what it was the other day. We were chopping it up, kind of joking online, and you had posted something about you had given somebody a little on the low little signal while you were announcing fights. I forget what it was, like an ear twitch or something.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
he didn't.
I kind of went a little overboard with it, but I wanted to make sure he saw it.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah,
Your boss was like, do
my
not ever do that shit again. Do not
I haven't
ever.
heard anything. I haven't heard anything from it. I haven't heard anything about it until now. But,
yeah, I was like, I want my own little shout out. And you're like, what do you want? I'm like, dude, give me a nice knuckle deep dig in the nostril. That wouldn't be too
sure. Anytime. No.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing. It's cool, man. Like I said, man, I'm stoked for you guys. It was so cool to come out and meet you guys when you guys were in St. Louis. I mean, it was amazing to hang out with you and meet Schiavello. And again, thank you so much for creating the intro, my man. And so, do you got any social media, anything you want to shout out so they can follow the progress of Mr. Mike Kendall?
Hey, well, let me tell you, if I can remember them all. Facebook, obviously it's Mike Kendall, or I have a Facebook page that I'm not really all that active on, but Mike Kendall LFA on Facebook. Instagram is Mike.Kendall. Yeah, that's about all. At Twitter, at Mike Kendall MMA on Twitter there. So I'm not really all that active in that.
That's all right. Just in case somebody wants to track you down, stalk you a little bit, we'll provide the social media address. We can help facilitate that.
How was that? You remember when Adam Townsend gave his number out to Dana White on live television? He got like so many phone calls.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. Yeah. Not a good idea.
But I'll definitely take some fans off the show. That'd be great.
Right,
And
right.
I'd like to I'd love to chop up with people they get a hold of me and they want to know things. And I mean, there's a lot of entry level fighters who want to know like hey, what should I do? Where should I go? And if I know the people in the market, I send them their way. So
yeah, that's what's up, man. Create that next level, man. That next level of talent, dude. Because the new stars need to be created, man. These guys get these, not to say older guys, but you got to always have some new blood coming in. So help facilitate that process, brother.
For sure. And definitely the LFA's they're developing some guys right now. They're going to be huge stars in the sport. I can't wait.
Yeah, even just watching some of the recent weeks of just some of the fights, just like, whoa. Just, yeah, I'd be anxious to see. And that's what, honestly, I do love seeing new talent coming up, and hopefully, they will get their shot, man. It's not all political, because it's so crazy now. I guess, what are your thoughts? I mean, it's just like,
out, Jeff.
Huh? It is. You got, Biz being like, I'm going to fight GSP. Oh, if he's out, I'm going to fight Tyron. Like, hello. Jacare Souza's sitting there like, what the fuck, fellas? I've been sitting here for a hot minute.
Yeah. Souza definitely, I mean, yeah. I totally agree with you on that one. But, that's...
It's a whole nother beast, right?
Sport, sometimes
we're not Dana White.
Sometimes they just want to put people where they move the needle. They think that they're putting on fights that the fans want to see. I mean, it's their business. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just think there needs to be.
I just hope that every fight that I get to see, is awesome.
You got to walk a balance, man. You got to, like I said, you can't be leaving cats who've been grinding, first ranked, second ranked cats in the lurch.
Doubt.
Just, I mean, it said, I absolutely dig the money fights because that's a huge part of the sport as well. But man, when you got, it's a whole other conversation. But we're not in charge, so hopefully we can just enjoy it as they come.
Yeah. And then I wish we could have had GSP versus Anderson Silva. Gosh, man, would that have been just the best fight? I don't know why he's fighting. I don't know why he's getting the title shot right at the get go, but anyway.
None of it makes sense. None of it makes. I mean, it's, yeah.
I want to see Silva GSP. Everyone wants to see that fight.
Well,
Everyone
then
wants to see that fight for years.
Robbie just got announced to fight Cerrone. I'm like, I don't know. I like Cerrone, but he's top ranked guy, I guess. I mean, I haven't looked at the rankings yet, so I'll have to see. But
I don't know. Recent loss?
Huh?
I don't have the numbers.
Robbie obviously lost to Tyron. Cerrone's been on a tear. I think his last loss was to Rafael Dos Anjos, I don't think he's lost in his last couple fights, but it's just, I don't know. They're obviously going to make Robbie work his way back up, so. A huge fan of Robbie Lawler, too.
Robbie's a killer. Robbie's a good dude.
He's a beast. I can't wait to meet. Hopefully, I get to meet him someday, Dick. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mike Kendall,
he's always up there in Sioux Falls, but
is he?
Yeah, he always comes up there.
I'll hopefully get to meet the ruthless one. Mr. Mike Kendall, man, I thank you so much for your time. You are welcome back anytime, brother. Continued success. Travel safe out to South Carolina, and we will chat soon, my man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you. Mr. Mike Kendall of AXSTV Fights, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. There will be more.